Let's play football. World
Welcome to the World Football Channel. Now we will watch around the EFL highlights. Exciting and thrilling matches when both teams score goals like crazy. Prepare snacks, coffee, and sit comfortably. The exciting match will start now.
Don't push back. Don't push back. Don't push back. Don't push back. Don't push back.
Great memories as they seek a third triumph in a row, and they are definitely ready to go. Well, Michael Cooper is the Sheffield United Player of the Year. He starts in goal. Hamza Chowdhury, an FA Cup winner with Leicester, the centre-back pairing, the only two who remain from the Blades' last visit here in the 2023 FA Cup semi-final. Harrison Burrows was twice a Wembley goal scorer with Peterborough last season. It is the same 11 that began the playoff journey at Bristol on May the 8th. Local boy Anthony Patterson started here in their last playoff win over Wycombe, as did Dennis Serkin and Luke O'Nien in that back four. Dan Ballard, the dramatic semi-final hero. Few surprises ahead of the back four, though certainly not here. Dan Neil, the captain, and Joe Bellingham play here for the first time. Chris Rigg becomes their youngest second-tier finalist ever. Enzo Lefebvre and Romain Mundle start together for the first time. Mundle hamstrung sadly for much of the season. So we gather under the famous arch. We turn the page to write the final chapter, match number 557 in this season's championship story, the one under the harsh glare of the global spotlight. Don Goodman, your early thoughts?
Yeah, well, look, I was curious about team selection, formation, but the biggest tool of all out there in these occasions is your emotions and how you control them.
About the campaign. Gifted by Hume to Harmer, a searching ball for more to fight for. Remarkable save by Patterson.
I'll have to say, it's been a very, very nervy start by Sunderland. They've already given the ball away at least 3 times in the opening minute, and they nearly paid the price. We spoke about Coventry wanting to get crosses in. Well, Gus Harmer, very early ball in. Kiefer Moore, it's a brilliant effort, but it's an even better save by Anthony Patterson.
Yeah, the ball is virtually behind the goalkeeper. How he claws that out is extraordinary, but Gus Harmer, the time and space he's given to deliver the cross is criminal. The goalkeeper has really saved this team there. Kiefer Moore, but he can't believe he hasn't scored.
And while Luke O'Nien is down, that player who almost above anybody sums up the Sunderland spirit, while it's painful for him and very, very worrying for him, the delay may help Sunderland get their heads together, but they do not want one of their wisest and cleverest heads.
It's a great header, but O'Nien just holds his shoulder there as there's contact between the two of them.
So Chris Mepham immediately adds the experience of 61 Premier League appearances to a team that has none between them otherwise. And the Sheffield United supporters breaking into applause for lifelong Blade Lib Hume. For a tribute in her memory. Everyone wearing red and white joining in that. Mayenda's first chance to show. And first major moment of promise for Sunderland.
Well, this for me has to be part of the master plan, because he can run in behind, but he can also receive it when he's marked, spin his marker, and he's got that close control, dribbling at pace that defenders hate. And they need to see more of that from him.
It's Hume who'll take this corner. A whole lot of shaking going on. A different tack using Rigg, but ultimately not a successful one, and Harmer showing great determination to get there first. Outnumbered, but not outthought. Beautiful for Tyrese Gamble! The classic counter-punch floors Sunderland. And the Sheffield sound filling up our senses.
Well, everybody in this ground expected a goal like that, if it was going to be scored, to be scored by Sunderland, because this is what they excel at. But it comes from a Sunderland corner, and how well does Gus Harmer do, breaking at pace, but he picks his head up, spots the run of Campbell, and he picks him out with with a wonderful ball. Campbell, he's got to get the first touch right. He does, and then how cool is that? Lifting the ball over the goalkeeper. What a goal, and nothing more than Sheffield United deserve.
Absolutely. Defensively, you've got to ask questions why they're so short in defensive numbers, but it's Harmer and it's Campbell that capitalise. It is stunning. Just the way that Harmer gets his head up. He's got 3 Sunderland players around him. None of them are really closing him down. They're standing and watching him.
From Sheffield United, but confusion maybe from Sunderland.
Yeah, those 3 Sunderland players that kind of converge on Harmer. No one really closes him down. I think it's Mepham and Dan Neil. They kind of stand off him thinking he's got no support, he's got nowhere to go. But Campbell's covered so much ground up in support. So defensively, has to be question marks there from Sunderland. And I'm not saying it was an easy goal for Sheffield United to score. The athleticism of the 2 players breaking up the pitch was outstanding.
Yeah, and 2 moments of serious quality. Harmer presiding over this set piece. And fired in by Burrows! The man with a magic touch at Wembley strikes again! And what an extraordinary playoff campaign he has had! And Sheffield United, they can reach out and touch it now.
Well, they will check the goal. I think VAR will have a look to see if there's an offside, but let's discount that for a minute and just admire the brilliance of that look. There are Sheffield United players. Are they in front of Anthony Patterson? This picture, this angle here, this will show us, can he dive? Is he unsighted by Vinny Sousa? That is the key moment. And it's over to you, Mike Dean.
Yeah, I think that Taiwan, as the shot comes in, I think Bellingham just drops back late. He doesn't get back in time. I think because he's coming away from the keeper, it does impact the keeper's view to see the ball, so the keeper can't dive too late because he knows the player there. It's whether the VAR thinks he has impacted the goalkeeper. I think it could go either way, if I'm being honest with you. My gut feeling would be, because of where he's stood, he's in the goal area, I think this could be choked up.
I do. I don't think... Look, watch Patterson. It's almost a 2-fold dive in that he can't really see it, and it's not a fluid dive from a goalkeeper, which I think is impacted.
And Chris Kavanagh has to decide whether that impact affected his ability to get there.
Yeah, I think also where the actual attacker is, the attacker stood with this within touching distance of the goalkeeper. So in the goal area for me will be disallowed, and the score will go back to 1-0. Chris will probably announce it out of the stadium.
After review, Sheffield United 21 is in the line of vision of the goalkeeper and clear impacts. Final decision, no goal, offside.
And you have to feel for Harrison Burrows' moment of glory chalked off, but Chris Kavanagh coming to the correct decision.
Look at that solid defensive shape from Sheffield United, be it 4-4-2, 4-3-3. They're not going chasing the ball. They're saying to Sunderland, right, you try and break us down, and they're masters at this. They're frustrating Sunderland. There's just no obvious forward ball. They've got to move the Sheffield United team around. It takes bravery. It takes a bit of tempo to their play.
Well, Régis Lebris has the challenge of the season to rally his troops at half-time. Tyrese Campbell with a quite exquisite finish to a lightning counter-attack in which Gustavo Harmer, the division's player of the year, played a magical part. Harrison Burrows having a second goal, as he thought for a moment, chalked off rightly due to Vinny Sousa affecting Anthony Patterson's ability to deal with it. But it is a slender lead, but it appears a long way back for Sunderland. Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0 at the break. Opted to change their lineup just yet. Can't be long though, Don.
Well, no, let's see how maybe the first 10 minutes go here, and let's look for any obvious differences.
Certainly, Régis Lebris had one of his biggest challenges in management so far at half-time. It's a serious business, the playoffs.
Although that could be his I've won the lottery face as well. It's hard to read, isn't it, Vinny?
You're not suggesting he's got a limited range, are you? Someone's got to take charge. Well, potentially the final quarter. And Sirkin hesitated, and it's Brooks! Well, there was a dream moment for the Sheffield lad, and Sunderland led off.
Yeah, this is a major surprise that such a reliable defender makes a complete mess of this. Just deal with it, lets it bounce. But Patterson, it's not as glamorous as that save he made in the first couple of minutes, but he reacts so quickly, probably doesn't expect the mistake, but when it's made, he's ready to make a save, and that left foot, all important, it's kept Sunderland in the game again.
Watson, Brighton bound. Lefay finding Roberts, by far Sunderland's best move! suddenly produced a magic moment out of nowhere.
Well, the last bit of that is absolutely spot on. Out of absolutely nowhere. And it's Patrick Roberts. He's the architect, isn't he? And what does Mayenda do that he hasn't really done all the game? He peels off, he finds a bit of space, and a little bit like Tyrese Campbell, the first touch has to be good to give himself the chance to shoot. Watch this. First touch, really good. Second touch, even better. Unstoppable.
It's that Patrick Roberts, I mentioned it, he drifts off the right hand side because he's got Trey Hume out there. He drifts infield to become a number 10, a playmaker. The weight and angle of the pass, but the touch of Mayenda, he actually touches it with the outside of his left foot. So to keep it out in front of you, just extraordinary. The goals we've seen here, just stunning finishes.
Maybe the pain is a little easier at the minute.
But Sheffield United certainly feeling it.
What do you do if you're Sheffield United now? Because this game has been easy, it's been comfortable, you've dominated it, you've had chances to put it beyond Sunderland, you haven't taken them, and now you are in a fight. How are they going to react?
Chris Wilder has spoken about his team's mental fortitude and what he believes they possess. Now they have to prove it. Bellingham.
Well, momentum shift, can you feel it? Can you hear it? It's come out of nowhere.
Here's Roberts. Tom Davis making his presence felt. That's loose though by Moore, and it falls the way of Watson. Oh! And what a potting gift that is! Tom Watson, Brighton bound, off the bench, has surely booked Sunderland's place in the Premier League. There's still time for Sheffield United. So well to pick themselves up from that. Keeper Moore gifting him the ball, and didn't he make the most of it?
Oh, you feel so sorry for Keeper Moore. He has been unbelievably good all afternoon, and he plays a stray pass, one of the few, and he is punished in the extreme. And look, Tommy Watson, he's had some stick from the Sunderland fans, but I'll tell you what, if that is his parting gift, they will forgive him for eternity. And what a finish! He's allowed to advance. It's Hamza Chowdhury. He's a little bit too tired. They don't get out to him. They don't close him down, and they pay the price.
Yeah, you give the ball away, that's one thing, but the opposition have to capitalise. Tommy Watson here, again, he uses Vinny Souza as like a screen, and he just passes the ball with pace into the bottom corner. I just think the awareness, how he needs to finish that chance. Normally a much more mature player would know what to do. He's so young, but again, he just makes his mind up so quickly, uses Vinny Souza as a screen. Keeper can't see it, but the accuracy of the strike as well, it's just perfect. What a turn! They didn't score until the 76th minute, Sunderland. And now seemingly the game and promotion is theirs.
Oh, Roberts. Bit of luck. A lot of luck, but Sheffield United have it.
Yeah, I mentioned Regis Lewis making those changes. You play looking as though he had to do something, send attackers on. But then it's down to those players to influence the game. Patrick Roberts, Tom Watson, extraordinary.
And Kiefer Moore, who's contributed so positively for Sheffield United, not just today, but on their way here. It's had a moment that will haunt him.
Well, Tommy Watson, he had a lot to do, and there were other little bits involved in that. It wasn't just that he gave the ball away.
One of England's great football clubs is truly reborn. From the humiliation of successive relegations, 4 seemingly eternal years in League One, Sunderland are once again where they should always strive to be. But for much of this game, that looked an incredibly distant prospect. But 2 talented youngsters, Eliza Mayenda and Tom Watson, who's on his way to the South Coast next season, have almost from nowhere completely turned this game around.
Well, the only thing I can say is for Sunderland, it was written in the stars. You look at how they've got to the Premier League, you look at the 2 legs against Coventry City, on the back foot, found a way. And for much of this game, they were second best, let's have it right, but they have somehow found a way.
And following in those legendary footsteps, Dan Neil has climbed those steps. Dan Neil, Sunderland to the core. The six-time champions of England return to the very biggest stage. And they've done it in extraordinarily dramatic fashion. Late goals have been their stock in trade in this playoff campaign. Sheffield United so dominant, so on top for so long in this final. But they stayed in there. Some crucial changes by Regis Lebris, who has transformed this football club from hopefuls to a Premier League team in waiting. The early underdog continues. Sunderland are back in the Premier League.